right, welcome to the After Hours of TC Restani, the podcast that almost didn't happen. I'm joined here by my esteemed panel of experts. Well, I'm here with Vinny Capelli tonight because everybody else is AWOL.
You only need one expert, and you got it right here.
I got you here. At least you showed up here at the podcast penthouse. I don't know where South Boston Jeff is. I honestly don't know where he is. I talked to him a couple days ago. He was all excited because he found out that you could go on a tour of the original Friday the 13th set down in New Jersey and pay like $300 to go on a tour of a lake. So I don't know if he's left for that one or not.
So wait, you're going to drive down to New Jersey, spend probably $300 in gas, spend another $300 in going around a friggin' lake.
Right.
That was a movie set.
40 years ago.
40 years ago. And
Right.
to me, the movie sucked.
And Jason wasn't even in it until the very end.
No, it was his mother.
It was his mother the entire time. So sorry if we ruined
Spoiler.
If we ruined Friday the 13th, the original for you out there, it was Jason's mother, Betsy Palmer, that did all the killing out there. And of course, numbnuts himself, Colonel Bull Montana, is not here. I haven't seen or heard from him since Thanksgiving weekend 2017. As we record this, it is now February 23rd, 2018. And he is once again done his little disappearing act where he's shacked up with another one of these elderly women that he meets at the senior center.
Guy gets more ass than a toilet seat.
Well,
He really does.
if you saw his last live-in lover, she was more like a litter box than a toilet seat. So, Colonel, if you're out there listening, which you may or may not be doing, call your house because I'm tired of hearing from your family saying, do you know where he is? And I go, I have no idea where he is. Do you know where he is? All we know is that he's living with some crazy lady, not the cat lady, but some crazy church choir lady in Chelsea, Massachusetts. For those of you who follow me on Twitter, I actually put out an APB at all points bull.
Did you?
Looking for him. And actually the town of Winthrop actually retweeted it.
Really?
So I have no idea where he is out there. We know he's alive and well, but he is the Harry Houdini of bachelorism out there. He latches onto somebody and vanishes, disappears and whatnot. He'll resurface. He always resurfaces.
Maybe it was a good thing he didn't raise his son. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a disappearing father act. I mean, I hate to say it, man. I love the guy, but he wouldn't have been a good father.
So, Bulldog, if you're out there from the couch party out there, you're better off not having known your deadbeat dad because he shacks up with anything that feeds him.
Yeah, I know. He does. It's not like he pays for child support. He has to get paid to be supported.
Yeah, of course he does.
I'm looking at his supporter.
Well, yeah, his benefactor over here, right here, for the last quarter century, or actually longer than that. But yeah, Vinny. This is our first podcast since June of 2017. Of course, we brought my television show back very briefly because I had a little health problem. You may have heard.
No.
Yeah, I had a tooth pulled. No. For those of you out there who has been following me on Twitter, and if those are fans and friends of the program, I had emergency heart surgery on what was an emergency? I knew about it for a couple weeks. February 5th of this year, they went in there and we found out that TC actually does have a heart.
So what you're trying to say is Boomerang Chastain was going to give you his heart?
No.
Oh. Wasn't like in Terminator Salvation where they took it out of one guy's chest and put it in yours? No?
As I was sitting there in the pre-op thinking to myself, the guy who I haven't talked to since Thanksgiving, Colonel Bull Montana, he's healthier than I am.
This is true. this is a
he's
true statement.
He's a cockroach. He'll live forever.
So isn't Quincy.
Well, of course, Quincy. We'll get into him in a few minutes. But yeah, they split me open and they attached some new vessels, as they call it, in there. I got the new 4 horsemen flowing through me right now, so I'm good to go.
It's funny because as I was coming to the penthouse, I shot you a message. It says, hey, you want me to pick you up something to eat? You're like, no, I can't. I walk in, and you have a smorgasbord. It's stuff I'll never eat.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking veggie burgers, turkey burgers, salad. I mean, where's the beef, buddy?
Yeah, well, Clara Pella there, where's the beef from the 80s commercial? Well, I am on a strict diet now. I have to because the doctor told me that I was, no lie here, this isn't a gag or anything. The doctor told me if we didn't discover this, you didn't discover this with your discomfort coming in, you would have not seen your birthday, which is next month. So I said to myself,
I know somebody else's birthday is next month, too. You're before me.
But it is your birthday next month, so you would have been the sole person on the program born in March.
I know, what are we going on here? I would have been like, this is the After Hours podcast.
It would have been the Afterlife Hours party. So, yeah, they put me on a nice strict diet. I can't have any red meat for an entire year. And you know me because we have after these shows we used to go out to the Brazilian grills and get those the salty meats and all the hamburger joints and the Chinese places and the pizza places.
No Chinese food either, huh?
Nothing.
That's
They
terrible.
even put that on the orders.
No more chicken fingers.
No. I have to give those to Boomerang Chastain. Nothing.
No lo mein. Nothing.
No crab rangoon. No fried shrimp. No boneless
I'm
spears.
starting to get salivating right here.
You know, I can have dry popcorn.
That's like eating cardboard.
Well, that's like going to Little Caesars as well. But yeah, I can't have anything good with no red meat for an entire year. But people said this when I gave up soda. Here's a little weird thing. I gave up soda and started my exercise program February 5th, 2007. I had my surgery on February 5th, 2018.
Wow.
So February 5th. I picked February 5th for the surgery.
Is this some conspiracy theory thing
No,
we have
no.
to start talking
You
about?
know what February 5th is? February 5th was the day that Andre the Giant beat Hulk Hogan for the WWF title
on Saturday night's main event.
No, it wasn't Saturday
no?
night. It was Friday night's main event.
That's
the
right.
The first time wrestling was on primetime television.
That was the gimmick with the two Hebner,
right,
Hebner
for the
brothers,
first
yeah.
time in 30 years in 1988, February 5th, 1988. And that was the night that, the two Hebner gimmicks and the night that I thought, it's no surprise I win the World Tag Team Championship, called the World Heavyweight Championship, and I surrender to Ted DiBiase.
Yeah, I remember
Which set up WrestleMania 4, so my favorite wrestler of all time, Macho Man Randy Savage, became the undisputed WWF World Heavyweight Champion. Unbelievable. But yeah, that was so my heart surgery. Getting back to that, I called everybody I know who had this. A lot of people in my family have had this. It's hereditary in the family. I'm not saying that I wasn't a slob and ate crap. I'm not one of these people that are going to deny it and say that. Of course I did. But the day of surgery, it was kind of eerie and weird and stuff like that. I was like, am I going to make it and whatnot? And I woke up in the recovery room, Vin. I thought I was in heaven, literally, because it was a light.
You had 72 virgins?
No, it was a light haze in there, right? And the most gorgeous nurses I've ever seen in my entire life. The only thing that proved to me that I wasn't dead was the giant breathing tube going down my esophagus, and I had it kind of sounded like bull talking over there for a second, and they yanked out the breathing tube, and I'm telling you. It's like the Florence Nightingale effect, but in reverse. When the nurses fall in love with their patients, I fell in love with these nurses instantaneously. They were like 25 years old. Perfect.
Did you ask for a scrub down a couple times?
I got a couple scrub downs easily. No question about it. Even if I didn't need it, I was in some hurt and pain. Yeah, let's just put it that way. But yeah, that was the best part of the surgery. Was waking up and seeing. These visions of heaven out there. I'm not going to mention their names or the hospital where it was because I don't want people going there and stealing my gimmick because I'm going to go back and visit them when I'm 100%.
Yeah, you should.
I am
you
going
absolutely
back
should.
there. You kidding me? I need some new co-hosts on the After Hours show. We
need a replacement. Obviously, Bull's not going to be here. Can't find Jeff.
We don't know what Jeff is. I know.
Jeff may fall in the lake. Who knows?
He could fall in the lake looking for Jason because he is out of his mind.
I'm gonna try to get an autograph from him.
Yeah, excuse me. Are you Jason? Even though Jeff has mostly all the Jasons autographs, give him credit out there.
How many were there?
Well, there was a billion of them. There was the first Jason in the first one, the kid that came out of the lake at the end. Then there was two in part two. There was the stunt double, and then the guy who came crashing through the window at the end. Then there was one in part three, a different guy in part four. Part five don't count because he wasn't Jason.
Wasn't Kane Hodder Jason?
Well, he didn't show up until I think like the seventh one. But he played Jason more than anybody else. So that's why he gets the moniker of playing Jason. Nice guy, Kane Hodder. There's a bunch of Jasons, and I think Jeff spent a fortune getting his actual machete signed by most of these people, which was sickening because the amount of money that they charge. But you know what? You only live once, or in my case, you live twice. Because
this is true.
Because technically, when I was under the knife there, Vin, I was dead for 47 minutes. Technically, dead.
Did you see anybody?
No, thank goodness. I saw the colonel saying, "Hey, I'm here. You want to buy me some?"
Yeah, you said no. Leave me.
I said, you know what? I'll go back to life. I don't need to see this for eternity. Because even though it does feel like an eternity when I'm around him, but yeah, I was on the Darth Vader breathing machine for 47 minutes.
Did you think to yourself, maybe I can pull a new scene here, do the whole "I am your father"?
No, if anything,
nothing.
if I was Darth Vader, if anything like that, I'd like to wake up and have like Padme on top.
You
of
didn't
me.
want to show the nurses your lightsaber?
Well, I use the Force on them. Little mind tricks. But so for those of you out there who were very concerned about me, and I'm all humble here. There were many people out there that texted me, who follow us on Twitter, that have become longtime friends, celebrities, movie stars were actually texting me and whatnot.
Well, when you are a celebrity,
Well, it's true. I mean, I just feel very humbled out there that when I woke up the next morning and turned on my phone and I saw literally there had to have been about 80 text messages from people all over the world, literally, and. I was like, this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. I don't want to single anybody out, but you know who you are, who you're listening out there, and it's most appreciated. And I'm telling everybody, I hate people who preach to people and whatnot. Oh, you need to do this and you do that in your life, whatnot. If you feel a pain and you don't feel right, go check it out.
I agree, 100%.
End of story. I'm not, I'm not going to preach to you saying, you should eat if there was Chinese food in front of me right now and no one was looking, I'd be very tempted. Very tempted. I know. And you walked in with Burger King, all right?
Hey, I'm sorry. What do you want me to tell you?
You walked in with a big Whopper, and I was like, you son of a bitch. But that's a different story for a different time. So just publicly, I want to thank everybody out there. Vinny, you, of course, were texting me and whatnot, and you were actually asking about the nurses, because I tried to take a picture of one of them for you.
Listen, I just was making sure you were being well taken care of. That's all it was.
I was being well
taken care of. But
it was,
I remember talking to you before you went in. You were telling me about it, and you kind of caught me off guard. I was kind of a little shocked.
Well, that caught me off guard, too. I only knew about it like 3.5 weeks before it actually happened.
Then I saw you called me, and when I was working, so I said, I'll give him a call back later. And it was funny because I'm like, what the hell? And when I talked to you on the phone, I'm like, man, this is TC. I'm like, this doesn't sound like TC. Well, it was you.
You know what TC almost stood for? The coronary.
The coronary. Yeah,
that's what it almost stood for, was the coronary. But it's all fixed. I got the new 4 horsemen flowing through me right now.
And at least you didn't meet the other 4 horsemen that we know.
No, I didn't. I don't need to have a reunion with them for quite a long time.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good.
Quite a long time down there. But, like I said, if you have any pains out there, go get yourself checked out. I'm not going to preach here. I hate people that preach like that, because we need all the viewers and listeners we can get out there.
Well, we need the host of the show, too.
Well, like I said, the host of the show, I'm just the guy who talks into the microphone. The real host of the show is Colonel Bull Montana. I like I said, he's the Fonz of this program. We have make lunch boxes and whatnot. His mug's going on it right there. But like I said, for those of you who are listening out there, the Colonel is not with us tonight because he once again disappeared, shacked up with some even older lady than he did earlier last year. Hopefully this one is a lot cleaner than the cat lady that he was with that just stunk my limousine up so bad I had to get it scrub-a-dub 3 times to get even the stench out of it.
That was gross.
That was the most disgusting stench I've ever been around. I've been around some filthy people in my life, and that I don't know what those two were doing in a litter box.
It was gross.
It's like that scene in Police Academy 2, Bunky, the litter box. That's what it was like.
Oh.
Can you imagine the Colonel and his chick Bobby rolling around in the litter box?
Don't get me sick. I just said, do you want the Burger King to back up?
No, I don't care. Cause I'm about
do you want me to have a heart attack now? Come on.
If you saw that in a litter box,
I might.
You would have had a heart attack instantaneously. Unbelievable out there. It's disgusting, filthy. Colonel, I love you, but you got to get your act together, man. I mean, we only had the new couch on the show for like a couple tapings, and he's already got little Colonel nuggets all over the couch out there. But for those of you who are following us on the YouTube channel, I want to thank you out there for the positive feedback you've given me on the new on the little clips that we put out there of the show. Especially that we have one of our guests on there, Abigail Harwich, who was the stunt wand double for the chicken Harry Potter. She's become huge. Everybody wants to know more about her, and we'll have her on the show more. I mean, she can wave her wand and
I would
make
love
some magic.
to show her my magic wand.
Really?
Absolutely. It's funny because
I didn't know you were a magician.
You have no idea. You seen that movie, The Prestige? The one with Christian Bale and Hugh Jackman?
I can't say as I have.
Good movie.
Really?
Scarlett Johansson's in it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I want to be her magic wand.
Really? You want her to be your wand double?
Yeah, that would be a great idea.
Well, I'll let her know. I'll pass it on out there that you want her to be the wand double.
That's okay. And hey, listen, everybody needs friends.
Especially you. Unbelievable. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a big-time commercial break, and we're going to come back. We all of a sudden, we have a relative of mine just stumbled in. We're not going to introduce it to him yet, but we're going to take a little break, and we'll be right back with my relative. And we'll add to the panel of experts down here on the After Hours with TC Restani, the podcast.
Hey everybody, it's Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. And you know what? Everybody's got a price for me. If you want to get your money's worth, then you need to stay right here, because you're watching After Hours with TC Restani.
All right, welcome back from that big-time commercial break. This is the emergency room episode of After Hours with TC Restani. The Hot's beating. You know, as a kid, my favorite tag team was the Hot Foundation. I kind of took it a little too far.
I guess so. But if this is the does that make me Dr. McVinney?
Dr. McVinney?
Instead of Dr. McStreamy or Dr. McSteamy, I could be Dr. McVinney.
If whatever floats your boat.
I'd be a wonderful gynecologist, let me tell you.
I heard you were a door-to-door gynecologist.
Back door to front door, absolutely.
You took over for Dr. Red when he when he vanished. Inside
God.
joke out there for those of you who know Dr. Red. God rest his soul. Interesting human being. Before we went to commercial break, one of my relatives stumbled up to the podcast penthouse. My longtime close cousin, yeah, he's a cousin, and a former limo driver as well of mine. Cousin Leo, what's going on, Leo?
Hey, glad to have you back. Man, so you're feeling better? The family told me, man. They says,
were you doing one of those little state-funded vacations? You didn't come and visit me in the hospital.
No, I was with my mother. She's not well, so.
Oh, the old mother angle, huh?
Yeah, you're on.
Well, obviously, the talent doesn't run in the family. Talk into the microphone. It sounds like I'm talking to Jeff once again. Maybe Jeff has cloned you.
Where is he tonight, anyway?
I think he's going on a tour of Crystal Lake. The actual locations down in New Jersey, because I got a text from him earlier today talking about it. So God only knows that Jeff probably took a Greyhound down to New Jersey, and he's wandering through the woods right now, looking for Jason.
Let's hope he makes it back.
Wonder how much gimmick he actually took.
Him and Jason right now are getting stoned now.
Under the water.
Hey, Jason, you want some of this? Jason, how many people have you killed? Yeah, let's do a smoking game, right? When I mention a name of someone you killed, let's take a toke.
Jeff's going to be a millionaire, but before all of us down there, he's going to come up with some crazy game or something, or he's going to get discovered around that, because he's one of the most unique individuals in the world. And he came and visited me, and that was one of the craziest visits I had of all the people who came and visited me in the hospital.
Crazier than Hollywood Joel?
Oh, please. All right, moving on here. Cousin Leo, I haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you since the holidays. We're talking about different things down here. We were just talking about our health scares down here and whatnot. But, Vinny, what was the next subject that you wanted to bring up?
Well, I got to ask, Cousin Leo.
Go ahead.
I've taught you. You're supposed to use the crowbar on somebody else, not yourself. What happened to your leg?
Well, this time I was a little short on cash, and they got me instead of the other way around.
Why didn't you make a phone call? I would have helped you out there.
I didn't want to burden you. It was the holidays.
Well, let's give a visual image out there for those of you who are listening. This is a podcast.
Yes, this is true.
Cousin Leo, who I haven't seen since the holidays, I've been talking to him on the phone and whatnot, is stumbling in here with crutches. Now, usually you're making people have crutches. What happened? I heard you were on a construction site checking out a job, and someone or something. This isn't like an insurance scam or anything, is it?
No, it involved a lot of cement.
Oh, okay, all right.
Certain people that had to just,
go away.
Go away. They were fired, as we said.
Oh, really? Okay.
And then all of a sudden, I slipped and fell.
Oh, is that what they're calling it?
That's what they call it, yeah. And, I did the quotation marks, but, I slipped and fell.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I had to get my leg repaired in full. So they called it a tibial plateau fracture.
Unbelievable. The hits just keep on coming here, ladies and gentlemen.
Amazing.
Now, Jeff, South Boston Jeff has just wandered into the podcast penthouse after we've spent almost 20 minutes talking about you were going down to see the Camp Crystal Lake site when I got the text this morning. So, welcome back to the program, South Boston Jeff. Did you actually make your way to New Jersey, and welcome to the program?
Well, I haven't made it to New Jersey yet and everything.
Well,
I
you,
just
you,
walked in.
you're kind of late for the broadcast. We said 7:30.
Well, I just packed a bowl and I'm ready
Well,
to
you know,
roll.
all right.
There it is.
Some
There's the
things
gimmick.
never change over
Packed
there.
a bowl and ready to roll.
Oh, yeah, let's go. Well, you know, it's good to have you here. We're talking about.
No, I'm right on time, ain't I? You can set your watch by my opinion.
I said 7:30. What time is it now?
It's exactly 8:01.
Okay, it's 8:01.
I'm on time.
Okay, what time zone is that? The South Boston time zone? Well, it's good to have you down here, Jeff. We were just talking about my medical crisis earlier in the program. We're all fit and ready down here. We're all patched up, I guess.
Bunch of us. I mean, Jeff, have you had any surgery? I had minor surgery. I had a wrist and a knee done.
Stop! I told you, go blind with that wrist thing.
I use my left hand
to
now.
answer your question, and speaking of you going blind, yeah, I've had surgery in both eyes, multiple surgeries in both eyes, cataract surgery, cataract removal, yeah, in the eyeballs and the other balls actually.
I remember the other ball thing.
Both north and
He
south.
had he had that big cyst there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, when he walked like an old-fashioned cowboy.
Oh, yeah, I went through that and everything, and always taking Well, it's the doctors give you Percocets and good stuff like that, but it's a pretty lousy way to get them.
Oh, did you get the Oxycontins that I sent you? Because they were making me go hoopy in the hospital.
Yeah, those will help for my anxiety. I
Okay,
think.
beautiful, unbelievable. You know what? I have no anxiety anymore. When a doctor tells you were like 3 weeks away from dropping dead, nothing else in the world bothers you anymore.
No,
Nothing.
no.
It's like, what was I pissed
Well-
off? Why was I all mad about this for?
You got to get married.
No. I've seen what happened to your hair.
Hey,
I can't have that happening in my hair, especially my sideburns. I can't have them falling
hey,
out.
I'm solar powered, baby.
Oh yeah.
I'm solar powered.
Okay, that's what you're calling it.
That's
huh?
what it is,
Okay.
solar power.
Okay, all right. You know, you're gone green.
I've gone green. That's it.
Okay.
I'm conserving energy.
All right, and Leo's leg has gangrene, so we're all good down here. And Jeff, he's Irish from South Boston. We're all good.
He smokes the green.
Does he ever?
Oh, yeah, wearing all green, we'll try it.
So you asked me what I want to talk about. I got to tell you something, okay?
I don't think anybody else is going to be. I don't think if the Colonel shows up,
If the Colonel shows up, then something's going to happen.
then this is a
It's
big
a sign from
this has been
God.
a big rib. But all right, go ahead.
So I've been watching this program, and it's called The Curse of Oak Island.
The Curse of Oak
Okay,
Island.
and you know how I know you're into conspiracies and whatnot.
That's the buried treasure one, right?
Yes,
Yeah, I've
it's
seen that.
it's legitimate. It's not a gimmick. That there's an island in Nova Scotia. They call it Oak Island, and that the rumor has it that either pirates or potentially the Templar Knights from the 12th and 13th century may have visited this island and buried hidden treasure.
It's kind of like National Treasure with Nicolas Cage.
Yes, but like on the actual happening, like
that
not
actually-
just some gimmick.
That actually happened.
Well, I believe so.
Sure.
I mean, I'd love to see that.
I went to Trinity Church down here, Wall Street, trying to crack the floor.
Did you? Did
Yeah.
you hit the Parkington Lane, the guy's grave and open up, pull out the grave and find the tunnel that went in?
No, I didn't.
Oh, well, next time you should look.
I'll do.
Anyways,
Speaking of graves, you know who's buried in the next town over?
no, but you're gonna tell me.
Right. Obviously, no one here buried him there. But I'm a huge movie fan, obviously. Right?
Obviously.
I had nothing to do with it.
No. I don't think you were born when he actually died.
Good.
I'm a huge Godfather fan. And Christmas Eve, I was having a Christmas party, and some friends were over. And you guys were in the other room. These were different friends that I've known for a while, ones I only see once a year, those type of people. And they started doing movie trivia. And Godfather came up and whatnot. Do you know that Fredo is actually buried about 5 minutes from here? I go, that's not true. I looked it up.
Was he from the Boston area?
He was born in Boston. He died of cancer right after filming The Deer Hunter. He is actually buried 5 minutes from here. So in the springtime, I'm going to go down and take a selfie in front of Fredo's grave. His real name is John Cazale, great actor who was in all, Godfather 1 and 2, Dog Day Afternoon, The Conversation, The Deer Hunter. All his movies are classics.
Really?
And great actor. I mean, who's ever going to forget Fredo?
Yeah, I mean, it's Fredo.
Unbelievable. But yeah, he's buried right down the street.
He was passionate.
He was passionate, but I didn't want to burst your bubble down. Go
That's
back,
all right.
back to your
So
show.
I'm really intrigued by this show because they are finding stuff that is buried on this island that is leading to believe, like legitimate, like that Templar Knights had visited this island. And it goes into my intrigue because I am a big buff for all. You know me. I love
Sure.
all that stuff. And that history behind the whole Templar Knights. And I mean, I love the movie National Treasure.
Do you like the second one?
Not as good as the first one.
Okay, yeah.
But in physically seeing it and them actually starting to find stuff, so now they're finding out the history and they're visiting Europe and they're finding like, these idols and these crosses, all kinds of stuff. And there is proof that there is something buried about 150 feet in the island. That why somebody would bury something 150 feet into an island, who knows? But it's looking like that not only did the Templar Knights potentially bury something there, but actually they were the true discoverers of North America.
No, Bigfoot was.
Well, he was already here.
Well, okay, well,
You can't discover it if you're already here. But so as far as, and I should rephrase, people who actually came from Europe to discover America really wasn't Christopher Columbus. It might have been the Templar Knights.
Really?
Yep.
Well, they knew they had to do a Nicolas Cage movie 300 years later, so that's why.
That's what it was.
So unbelievable.
Well, that kind of leads into my other thing. Like,
So they discovered Canada first, not the United States.
yes, but that's North America.
Oh, technically, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But that kind of leads into my other question is, and talk about national treasure.
Which I am, by the way.
Would you want to see a third one made?
I got to find out what's on page 47.
That's-
Remember at the end of the second one?
Yeah.
The president's like, look on page 47. We never found out what's on page 47. In fact, I was watching that on TV because I'm still bedridden from my little, procedure, and I was watching that. Never realized that movie came out in 2007, the sequel.
Yeah, because the original was 2004, 2003.
Yeah, I'm like, well, I got to find out what's on page 47. So Nicolas Cage, if you listen to this episode right now, get off your ass. Go ask Disney for some cash. Obviously, they're making a boatload of money. They can do National Treasure 3. We have to find out what's on page 47. I think it has something to do with time travel myself.
Could be. The Philadelphia Project, maybe. Who knows?
Good experiment. Philadelphia
The
experiment.
Philadelphia Experiment.
Unbelievable.
Another good movie.
That was a great movie.
That wasn't bad. That wasn't a bad one.
It's 80s corny kind of
It had Eddie and the Cruises in the movie.
Oh, yeah. Eddie the Cruises.
What's his name? Michael Pare or something?
Yeah.
I'm so Jeff, you probably met him at some one of these stupid
On
shows.
the dark side.
Oh yeah, like Michael Pare. He's a regular crap ass you see at a convention. I like Eddie and the Cruises. I haven't seen the one you're talking about.
I have not seen Eddie and the Cruises in a long time out there. But continue, Vin.
So the whole thing actually led me to looking up what might be still hidden buried treasure and if there were any legends in, especially here in the United States. There's actually a legend right here in the state of Massachusetts.
Yeah, the living legend, Bull Montana, who's not here.
Not the Colonel.
I don't even want to think about where his face is buried right now.
He needs to bury himself. But anyways, so I was reading that there was potentially a treasure buried somewhere up either in Lynn or Saugus. No, legitimately.
What would you bury in Lynn?
So it was
Other than a map to get out?
We're going back
Well, it is on the ocean.
14,
Doesn't involve a
1500s.
shovel and line and a bag of
No.
lime, right? Okay.
It doesn't
Yeah,
involve
suppose-
it doesn't involve the green tea, does it?
No, it doesn't involve the
Okay.
great tea. No. So, but yeah, and then I obviously right here. I mean, just there's legends in the state that we're in right now, which is Massachusetts. But there's also legends of. I'm sure you guys heard about the guy that. This is legit. He's still alive. He buried $1 million in jewels somewhere out in Colorado, and that these people have actually gone out. He's given them clues, but no one has found it yet, and people have actually died trying to find this
This
guy's
guy probably
treasure.
doesn't even have anything buried. It's just a big joke.
For another legend here, actually, this is also true. I guess.
Leo,
Well, they
talk
say
into
it's
the
true.
microphone. That'd be
They
nice.
say it's true, but the thing is Byfield, Kent's Island and Byfield, there was a couple of lawyers that stole a bunch of gold in chests, and they buried both of them, but in two separate locations.
Don't say chest.
Yeah. Booty.
Booty, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
So they buried it.
You can say
and-
boobies, just don't say chest.
right.
No, don't want some boobies either. You can't have your heart rate go up.
Whatever you call it, I'll take it all. There you go. But there's like a giant rock in some field that has like a marker on it, and these two guys. This is back in I think in the 1800s or late 1700s, I think, and it's called the Treasure of Kent's Island, or the Kent's Island
check it
Mystery.
out.
And one treasure chest has been found. The other one, they don't know where it is.
Really?
But they're saying, I think the equivalent was a couple of $100,000 in gold or something like that back then. Now today, it's worth a treasure chest load more.
Yeah, no, tell me
a
about it.
boatload to quote TC. But there's another legend right there for you.
Unbelievable.
Oh well,
I hope I
have you
find
heard this one now that we're on the legends? But this one might be true, but I haven't sure if you've heard it, Vinny. Do you know that there is a part of the great room in the Great Pyramids that they just discovered right above one of the king's tombs, and they just discovered it, and it's called the Void. The archaeologists have just discovered it, and well, they can't drill any holes in the walls just yet to discover what's in there, but there is something in there. And
Really?
It is a huge room. And
That's in the
it's
Pyramid
called
of
the
Giza,
Voids
correct?
in the Great Pyramids out in Egypt. And, they can't drill into the walls just yet because we know nothing about the architecture of how these pyramids are built or how, and we don't want to disrupt it.
It's because those pyramids weren't built by human beings. All right.
Right.
I see. Now here we go into
But,
conspiracy theory.
okay,
I mean,
That's right. Yeah.
But the people are trying to figure out a way to see through the
have to
walls
check that
and
out.
see exactly what is in there. Yeah.
Let's be honest. All right. We live in Boston, Massachusetts. They couldn't even build a tunnel that was designed by MIT graduates, right?
Yeah.
And it fell apart after like
is
a
true.
year and a half. You're trying to tell me that the same human beings who were uneducated, knew nothing about mathematics, design, or engineering, built pyramids that have lasted supposedly 5,000 years.
I am a firm believer that the people from Atlantis were not from this world.
Oh, I don't think anybody from over in that
And
Egypt
the reason
area.
why Atlantis has never been found because it was a ship, and it is gone.
Really?
That's my belief.
It went home?
They went back home. When they came, they showed people the civilization, how to build, and then they left. Telling you,
I don't dispute that at all.
Stargate, that movie Stargate. I'm telling you, there's something to it.
It could have been real.
It could have been real.
Unbelievable out there.
But do you think they'll come back?
No.
If they come back, will they be nice?
No, I think we were planted here by them. I think there's a whole civilization thing that was on Mars. I mean, you can check it out. Look at the face on Mars, the pyramids on Mars. NASA just kayfabes everybody because they don't think we're adult enough to realize it. Because, like we've talked about in this program before, if people on this planet find out that there's other people from different worlds, religion goes down the toilet.
Big time.
It's gone. It's fake.
Well, not necessarily, because what if you? Because if you are a holier than now religious person, who's to say that God didn't create life somewhere else?
I'm not going to dispute.
Right?
I'm not going to dispute that, but I'm talking
Right.
about these lunatics,
Of course.
that will sacrifice themselves with grenades running into places because some Babylonian god told them to do it. And then they find out that wait a minute, the person I'm praying to really didn't exist, and we were planted here by people from Mars or wherever.
And then they come back, and then the people from Mars come down in lightning bolts, and then go back in the machines and kill everybody on Earth.
I'm telling you, I
War of the
think
Worlds.
humans and whatever species that were on Mars, or maybe we do have a big affiliation with them. I think we've been there for at least since the 70s. We've got. There's all kinds.
My
of stuff
theory
coming
is
out.
there was an intergalactic battle hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of years ago, and the reason our history, we won't remember that because it got completely wiped out, and the human race started over. I think Darwinism was put in there to throw people off. We all evolved from apes and whatnot. If you believe that stuff, go ahead. I don't care. Adam and Eve.
Sounds like it makes sense to me.
Makes
And,
kind of no sense.
Like no, the Great Pyramids could be the leftovers from the last world.
Yes, yeah,
And
exactly.
The Sphinx, the Great Sphinx, that could be what the last world was, like in Planet of the Apes.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
The Statue of Liberty.
The,
Check out the Great Space Battle.
I was gonna say-
Google this.
They're
The
going to say
Great
the Great
Space.
Space Coaster.
No, the Great Space Battle in Nuremberg, Germany. It's called the Nuremberg Space Battle or the Great Space Battle. And it's a whole description of what people witnessed in the skies. I think in 15... Don't quote me on this, but 1510. And it was just, they saw all kinds of things flying in the
Sounds like a
sky.
sounds like an AM radio
exploding,
station.
crashing to the ground. And all the people used these materials that fell to the ground to build tools, weapons, and whatnot. But they were saying that all kinds of things were being flown around in the air. These big, giant winged machines were flying through the air, and they looked like they would say discs and winged ships or something.
Birds.
Birds, but
Gargoyles?
they were shooting things, and it's interesting history.
That
lesson.
could be that. Remember season 2 of Buck Rogers when that guy Hawk, who was a hawk, flew around this like big metal bird.
You're not talking
Buck
about Flash
Rogers.
Gordon, because those guys were cool.
No, not Flash Gordon. I'm talking about
Hawkman.
Buck Rogers. Beady, 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 trouble, Buck. I'm talking about them.
Or kind of like those things in
I
that.
can't believe you remember that.
That Batman movie, the Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice, and everything. There were those things flying down to get Superman and everything. I mean, what were they? Mechanical goons?
Oh, the guys that created it. Yes, I know you're talking.
I mean,
about.
let's just look at
They
the
had mechanical
Industrial
ones.
Revolution. We went from the Wright brothers in a makeshift airplane, and what, less than 40, 50 years later, supposedly we landed on the moon.
1911.
I mean, look at that. I mean, if you believe, the technology and whatnot, that we actually went to the moon and whatnot, I mean, then how come we haven't advanced then? I mean, it's now been 50 years since the moon landing. How come we don't have
evolved to the next stage.
Yeah, how come we don't
Try to,
have-
all right, now we've been to the moon. Now let's go to Mars.
how come we don't have
Next
flying
Jupiter.
How come we don't have flying cars?
I wish we did. Our parents' generation was promised that. You
What,
know?
flying cars?
Flying cars.
Well, you got to remember too that if you go back to our parents' generation, the belief was by the year 2000 we would have been flying, we would have been doing all this other stuff, and it's all we've done is evolve.
No, we've devolved.
True.
Well, in some ways. I
And
mean, I think
society has.
I think when
I mean,
it comes
they
to,
did invent the hair transplant. You know?
I mean, they still can't grow hair back.
Yeah, obviously Vinny's not working for Vinny.
I think right now the closest we got to a flying car is one of those drones that can only carry one person out in Japan. They have those drones.
Well, there you go.
So,
I mean,
a flying car.
You know,
I mean,
we'll probably see it. In our lifetimes, maybe a flying car. I just want to know why we haven't gone back to the moon since 1972.
I agree, TC.
What did we
Space travel.
What did we actually see up there? That A, did we go? Or B, if we did go, what did we really find up there, and why won't we go back? I mean, everybody in the world, there are webcams everywhere. I mean, you can't even go into a bathroom at a truck stop and someone's not looking at you, right? You trying to tell me that they haven't stuck a webcam up there to look at the Earth?
I wanna see not another moon mission. I want to see a Mars mission. I want to see them get people to Mars. You're telling me that we can't create a vehicle, I'm
sure we have it.
a craft that would bring a group of people to Mars, probably take them 4 or 5 years to get there, I'm sure. But you're telling me they can't?
Oh, it'd take less than that,
You
probably.
think? I don't know. I don't
I'm
know.
telling you, I think they're already up there, but it's all military.
Sure, because have you ever looked up on the face on Mars?
Yes.
Okay.
It was you that turned me on to
Okay,
it.
there's the face on Mars, whether you believe it or not, but they also looked at the
pyramids.
The pyramids that are identical to the pyramids here on Earth.
Right.
So, people, it's a conspiracy theory, it's science fiction and whatnot. What if it's not?
What now? What if the pyramids were a gateway?
You mean the skeptics?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, well, NASA knows the truth.
Yes.
They're not telling us anything.
Those skeptics are just bull.
I mean,
I'm telling you, like
no, he's not here tonight. Thank God.
no,
No,
well, you
I
know what
think
mean.
I think the
I don't
people
wanna say
that
the
know
SH.
the truth are the most secretive of secretive societies, and that and they're the ones who actually run this world.
It's like the royals over in England. Why are they royalty? Who made them royalty, and why do people kiss their ass? Who are they?
Nobody's.
Not-
Seriously.
Well, we don't, because America, we do not
No.
recognize
No,
it.
Americans kiss their ass. They're all concerned about who's going to the wedding and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Don't you realize that we fought a revolution, 300 years ago to get rid of them?
Not this new generation, man.
200,
But it is
42
illegal.
years ago to be exact.
Yeah, it is illegal.
Okay, sorry. I missed that.
I'm a bicentennial baby.
Oh, you are?
Yes, I was born in '76.
Oh, well.
Which was the 200th year anniversary of the American Revolution.
Well, there you go.
With the independence, the Declaration of Independence that has the secret map on the back of it because Nicolas Cage
You're right.
found it.
Okay. Whatever the hell the revolution. I should notice, we live here. This is where the revolution took place. I actually took a pee in Paul Revere's house one time.
Did you?
Yeah, I had to go.
Oh, all right.
I
Nothing wrong
think
with
I was
that.
there with you that time.
okay.
We weren't in the bathroom when I was there,
That's
but
okay.
the British were coming, and so was I. I had to go bad.
One by land, two by
Two
sea.
by sea. His toilet wasn't really that good, but for those of you who ever are visiting the north end of Boston and you need to take a leak, a famous leak, go to Paul Revere's house and take a leak.
Old North Church.
I haven't taken a leak there.
Yeah, well,
No,
not the right thing to do. Take a leak in a church, but
it's not a Catholic church. What do I care?
What do you care? That's right. Exactly.
I just survived. I was dead for 47 minutes, and I'm ragging on churches.
But maybe we're onto something. Maybe if the pyramids on Mars, maybe there used to be some type of gateway between the two worlds. Maybe that isn't just a dream in a movie.
There actually, I don't know the actual name of the moon, but there is a moon of either like Jupiter or Saturn. If you look it up, it looks just like
Saturn.
the Death Star.
What?
I'm not kidding. You go online, look up the moon of Saturn or Jupiter or whatnot. It is the Death Star. They have a picture of it, and there's a crater on it that looks just like the
Really?
the dish and everything. So maybe Star Wars, like you said, a lot of stuff was put out there right in front of us to put the truth right in plain sight, but camouflage it in a movie.
Exactly. I think that happens all the time.
So
It's amazing. I think it's time that we actually wake up to this. They start, I mean, it would be nice to have a little truth.
But it is a global secret because notice Russia isn't going, China isn't going, no one's going. Yeah. So the Council of Seven there, whoever really runs this world, is telling no, we are not going there because the guy from Jupiter 2 out there told us we can't go back yet. So I'm surprised there ain't some crazy billionaire out there that has designed his own spaceship. You ever see like the farmer's
What was that
husband,
movie? That movie, First Contact. Remember when they had the contact with Jodie Foster?
Oh yeah, of course.
And the crazy billionaire built the second one?
Right,
That's
right.
Yeah.
Maybe that will happen. You never
Gary
know.
Busey's son blew up the
Yeah,
the first one.
That's right.
Jake Busey.
Jake Busey.
Didn't you have an encounter with Jake Busey one time, Jeff?
Not with Jake Busey, no. We've had plenty of encounters with Gary Busey
That's right.
and Mario, but
that's
never
right.
Jake.
He tried to poison
There's
Mario.
a Mario Busey, too?
No. Remember, you know Mario, the crazy autograph
Oh,
guy?
yeah.
Gary, he supposedly one day, he thought Gary Busey poisoned him.
Oh, Jesus.
So, yeah, you can watch that on
Well,
our
wait,
YouTube.
it is Gary Busey.
You
Maybe
can
it
watch
did.
that on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/afterhourstc, and look for Mario videos out there where he thinks he was actually poisoned by Gary Busey.
And he was there. Something very fishy was
He wasn't
going on.
blinded by his teeth.
No, or the
Gary Busey.
or the pig pen stench that coming off of the people at those
Mr.
conventions.
Joshua.
Oh,
Mr.
man,
Joshua.
Unbelievable. Now, Jeff, we're talking about movies here and theories and whatnot, but like before you came in, you sent me a text this morning. Today is the 23rd of February, and you actually sent me a text real early this morning about some tour of Crystal Lake that you want to go on.
Oh yes, it's it's out in New Jersey, and I found out that the Friday the 13th Part 1 was filmed out there. So it's at an actual summer camp, one of those Indian named Camp Wickapeepee, or something like that, or they're doing a very special Friday the 13th weekend, and you can get up and you can just do a whole Friday the 13th experience and everything on Friday the 13th, and it's out in New Jersey. And I have a machete that's actually signed by like 5 or 6 people from.
We
Friday
mentioned
the
that
13th.
during the show,
I
during your
heard about
absence
this.
when you weren't here. I mentioned that you spent a fortune on getting the remaining Jasons signed on your machete.
Yep, but I got all kinds of them. Luckily I got Betsy Palmer on there before she passed away and everything. But I am missing Adrienne King, the girl who played Alice in Part 1, and she will be there hosting the tour.
I read the description on there. I mean, it was something interesting that maybe I would have gone on, but not for $300 to walk around a lake where they shot a movie 40 years ago, and Jason technically wasn't really in it until the end.
No, yeah, you're right. Who the hell's gonna care when I show Adrienne? Yeah, look, Warrington Gillette. She's like, yeah. Want a bottle of wine?
The second one, which is the one where Jason really became popular, that was actually filmed in Connecticut, so we could probably just go down to that one for free.
That sounds like a great money-saving idea.
All right,
TC.
so maybe this summer we'll all go down to the filming locations of Friday the 13th Part 2.
Okay, Jeff, I got a question for you.
Okay, shoot. Let me hear you.
If you knew you were going to die, okay? Hey. But you were given an opportunity to blaze up with with actually Jason, okay? Not the character. I mean, not the person playing it, but the actual Jason, the character.
If he manifested...
If Jason would take the mask off and blaze up with you, but the stipulation was after you guys were done blazing, it would be Jason to hack you off and finish you up. Would you do it?
Well, I guess I would, because it would be an honor, but I happen to know that it goes against everything Jason stands for, smoking weed. Maybe he unmasks and it's something, and it's maybe he unmasks himself and Jason is really the ghost of Oliver Reed or something like that, or something crazy, or someone I really respect.
Okay.
I mean, but it's a tough question, but smoking weed is everything that Jason stands against.
Well,
he kills people. Every person who smokes weed in a Friday the 13th movie ends up dying.
Now here's the big question: if you were going to get slaughtered by Jason, all right,
Yeah.
which version of Jason would it have been?
Ooh, good question.
Would have been, part 1, 2, 3, 4.
Don't even say 5.
He wasn't in 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, and the rest, as they said on Gilligan's Island. Which version of Jason, if you had only one opportunity to be killed by a Jason, which version would it be, Jeff?
Don't say Jason in space.
I
Jason
won't.
X.
It would probably be the Jason in Part 7 before he got zapped by the lightning, because he was at his oldest and most decrepit, and
That's right, Part 7.
and
That's
probably,
when he stabs him in the chest and the lightning brings him back to life.
No, that was 6.
Oh, that was 6?
Yeah.
Part 7 is where he had to face off against the psychic girl.
Oh, that's right.
It was
that's
originally
right.
supposed to be Jason versus Carrie, but do you think Sissy Spacek is going to do that shit?
Now,
No.
isn't that the one where the father comes out of the lake at
Yes,
the end
yes.
and pulls Jason into the lake?
Yes, that was that one.
Okay, that was.
But
pretty
I
lame.
also read something really interesting. Like, after the filming of Friday the 13th Part 6, and it was such a success and everything, the Paramount, toyed with the idea of, what about Jason versus Freddy? And they're like, well, we can't do that because New Line Cinema owns Freddy, and Paramount owns Kruger. And so they were actually toying with the idea of a Cheech and Chong versus Jason movie.
Oh, Jesus.
Really?
They were actually.
But then we eventually got the Freddy versus Jason.
Because Cheech and Chong is also owned by Paramount Pictures, so the director of Friday the 13th Part script Part 6 finished the script, and it was ready to be pitched. Thank God it was never made.
Well, that's not. He's not too far of a stretch there, because Eddie Murphy had picture deals with Paramount Pictures. He did, obviously Beverly Hills Cop, Beverly Hills Cop 2.
2 and 3.
And, 3 came much later.
Right.
He was originally wanted the idea, because I guess he's a big Star Trek fan, was the one where they go back in time and save the whales? Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home?
Oh, yeah.
It was going to be with the assist of Axel Foley.
What?
That was Eddie Murphy wanted to cross over the Beverly Hills Cop character and help Mr. Spock and Captain Kirk find whales.
Akmal Foley?
But they Paramount Pictures basically said, no, we have this other movie for you to do called The Golden Child, which was a complete
Brother Noomsy.
which was a complete waste of time. He should have saved the whales with Captain Kirk,
Brother
I would've
Noomsy,
loved that.
a.k.a. Tywin Lannister.
and that would have been an awesome.
I have disgraced my brother.
That would have been awesome. So, getting back to the Friday the 13th thing, Jeff, out of all of them, you want the Part 7 Jason.
Which one do you want to kill me?
Yeah, that was the one.
which
you
one
wanted.
would you pick?
That was the one you said, 7, right?
Part 7.
Actually, I guess Part 1, because it would just be a drowning.
Okay. Well, if I had my choice of the Friday the 13th Jasons that I wanted to get off by, it's a toss up between 3 and 4.
Okay.
Because 3 was the first time he got the hockey mask from Shelley, and the 4th one, it'd be cool to be killed in the same movie as George McFly.
This is true.
So
Okay.
and I think that 3 and 4 actually had the hottest broads in it. So, except for the girl from Part 5. The one who got stabbed through the eyes with the garden shears.
Oh, yeah.
And
Whose name was Voorhees in real life,
That's
I
right.
believe.
Debbie Sue Voorhees.
Who was the one who, which Friday the 13th was it where the guy got it through the junk on the boat there?
That would have been 4.
That
was 4.
That would have been 4. He was banging the chick that was in Weird Science and
American Ninja.
American Ninja. That's right.
I'm telling you,
Oh,
man.
God,
That's
right.
the Jason that I
But
would.
she's
right
she's
there.
really hot, and she's still really
Yeah,
hot.
she's still good looking. Judy Armstrong or something. I know she's a big listener to the program. I'm sorry if I'm screwing up your name out there. We met her a bunch of times at these shows. Fucking gorgeous. I can just say that. We're on a podcast.
Nice, okay.
Now I got one more question about this. Now, do you think if Jason actually took a toke, do you think he'd chill out a little bit? You know?
Like, do you think
It
Jason
would
have the
probably be a
munchies?
sight. You'd get to see all the smoke coming out of his chest because of all the holes in his lungs and everything from where he was. It would
think
be
he'd
quite a
mellow out.
sight.
Now, see, me, I liked, since we're talking about Jason and maybe these versus movies, Jason versus Freddy was good.
No,
but
it
I
wasn't.
would have liked to have seen was like the triple threat match where all of a sudden Michael Myers comes out of nowhere and just does a heel turn on both of them and offs off both Freddy and Jason.
How can he do a heel turn? He's already heel.
Well, Michael Myers technically is like the slasher you root. Like, I root for Michael Myers. I'm like, yeah, come on.
See, I have a friend out there. Her name is Liz out there, and she's a huge Halloween fan. And
I love
we've had
Halloween.
debates over who's the better killer. She is obviously infatuated with Michael Myers out there. Maybe it's the Captain Kirk mask. I don't know. But box office and whatnot and longevity, more people would be frightened of a guy coming at you in a hockey mask with a machete than some zombie dude with an unpainted Captain Kirk mask.
I know, but then there's Freddy Krueger, and this guy's all burnt up with the things.
Yeah, but
and the
we knew a
hands.
guy like that. Remember Fireboy?
Oh, yeah, fight. Oh my God!
Boy, I heard
Wow! You know all that good work that you've done trying to make when you go to be in front of the pearly gates. I think you just lost it.
Hey, I'm not the one who lit him on fire. He
Oh, Fireboy! Oh my
Speaking
God!
of this, we got to get like a medium on here. or
Speaking of
something.
Fireboy,
Yeah, we're talking about all this death and kill. We got to get a medium on here. See, if, we talk about the UFOs and all that conspiracy, but what about the afterlife?
I was
Halloween,
there. I was there. I was dead for 47 minutes.
You see any relatives or anything like that?
I would want to see them anyway. But getting back to Fireboy, for those
Tell them I said hi.
for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, and obviously you don't, I have a funny story about Fireboy. Great kid, poor kid. He got into an accident, and most of his body was burnt up.
Tragic.
He kind of looked like Freddy Krueger, but he had a great sense of humor. You could admit
He
that.
did.
You did
He
admit
did.
that.
He did.
And back 20 years ago, this year, when myself and a few other people that we know were druids for the Undertaker. Remember that?
Yes,
At
Wrestle-
WrestleMania?
Yeah,
Yeah.
me and-
14?
Because me and Lano were in the stands because we were celebrating. It was on my birthday.
It was.
was March 28th.
March 28th. We were the druids, and he was one of them because for some reason he weaseled his way in. And the funniest thing I have ever seen in my entire life, one of them, was we're backstage, and the whole thing was it was Kane versus the Undertaker, and Kane wasn't unmasked yet. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, back in the 90s, the WWF, Kane, the Undertaker's brother, was supposedly in a horrible fire, and that's where he wore the mask and whatnot. Well, Jim Cornette was the guy who arranged us to be the druids that day, and he brought Fireboy to Vince McMahon backstage. And he goes, why don't we have him be Kane?
Oh my God!
And Vince McMahon went, well, I gotta go and whatnot. So that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. That
I'm sure
Cornette-
McMahon ran away somewhere
like
and
this
laughed
is a
his ass
lawsuit.
off. Got so embarrassed, but
Nowadays that would be a lawsuit. Back then, you can
Back
get
then,
away
it
with
was hysterical. I mean, even Fireboy was laughing. He goes, "I'll do it. I'll be Kane." But that's just my Fireboy story. But go ahead. You wanted to see a three-way match.
I would like to see a fatal, triple threat death match.
Jason, Freddy, and Michael.
Michael Myers. And if you could even go fatal four-way and throw Leatherface in there, but I hate Leatherface, so as long as he gets off
well,
by...
this is how you'd have to do it. And I've been thinking about this, me and my buddies. It would have to be a movie about a futuristic prison and everything. And maybe one hero, maybe Ash from the Evil Dead.
Evil Dead series.
And he goes in there and everything, and something goes wrong. And in that evil prison is every movie serial killer in the book. And in different rooms, and there's chase scenes, and that's how you'd have to do it. You'd have to have Leatherface in one, Hannibal Lecter in one room.
Pinhead.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
and
Pinhead,
it's all in
yeah.
a futuristic prison, and you're trying to get out, and it's on an island. That's how you'd have to do that.
All right, I can see that happening.
If I'm a betting man, which I am, I'm putting my money on Jason. He's been back too many times,
So he's just like Michael Myers.
but
though.
he's
Same
killed.
thing
But
with
he's
Michael Myers.
look at all the victims. He has more victims than any of them combined. In the movies, I mean, he's offed more people.
Well, he's also
Yeah,
had
he's
more
definitely
movies
the
than
most
anybody else.
famous zombie there is.
Right. He's it. I mean, Jason's it. I mean, I respect all the serial killers in these movies. I'm not saying I
I
don't.
mean, do you think Leatherface is gonna win? I'm sorry, pardon me,
No, I
but
don't want- I hate him.
like a big humped over retard. I'm sorry.
No, I
But
think at
do
the end
you
of the
think
day, it
Leatherface
comes
is
down to
gonna win?
Jason and Michael.
I mean, obviously the most famous. Well, actually, I would have to say Freddy, Michael, and Jason are the most famous
They're the big three.
movie psychos killers of all
Yeah.
time. But and obviously Michael.
Yeah,
was
like
first.
Leatherface would be the Barry Windham of the four.
Well, actually,
Horsemen.
Leatherface was first. He came out in '74.
He was, but
But-
I mean, he's the Barry Windham of the Four Horsemen. He's that.
He's the
fourth-
Lex Luger of the Four
Yeah, he's the
Horsemen.
Lex Luger of
Oh
the
no,
Four Horsemen.
excuse me, the Paul Roma.
Yeah, the Paul Roma
Of the Four
Yeah.
Horsemen. And we're not talking about the new Four Horsemen that are pumping my blood right now.
But then you had to have to bring out a few that you've forgotten about, like the kid in Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Oh, Phantasm, the balls from Phantasm. The
Oh
old
yeah,
guy.
yeah. You could throw the tall man in there, get some other actor to play the tall man.
That's right.
But none of them would survive Bruce the Shark, though.
Bruce the Shark.
From Jaws.
Oh, none of them.
They actually gave
none of them.
Well, yeah, you'd have to get past him to get to the island
Right,
where the
yeah.
prison is.
My money's on Bruce out there because he's an eating machine. All he does
And he's
is swim
25 feet.
20, that's a 20,
20,
25, 3 tons of them. But yeah, I mean, if there was an island that Jeff said they had to go out there, Bruce the Shark, which is he doesn't care. He's not discriminative. He'll eat any zombie.
I mean, he'll eat
psycho.
anything. I mean, he ate a friggin' a tank.
He ate Quint.
He ate Quint. He ate a tank, and then the tank cost him his life.
He had a helicopter in Jaws 2,
Jaws 2. This is right.
which, by the way, I didn't know saved my life.
The helicopter in Jaws 2 saved your life.
Well, let me get this story on record here before I forget it, which I won't because it's bizarre. Our longtime close personal, unique individual named Quincy.
Oh God.
Okay, Quincy is the only way I can describe him is George McFly on crack, heart of gold, will do anything for you. I've been friends with him for 21 years. When I was in the hospital, he called me, and he told me, this is his exact quote. All right, let's backtrack 20 years early. He walked through the door one day at my studio where we used to shoot the show years ago, and he said, "God sent me, you're going to make me famous." Okay, that was his first words out of his mouth. Oh, the way he said it, he goes, God sent me, you're gonna make me famous. Who am I to dispute the Almighty? Well, fast forward 21 years later, I'm in the hospital, and Quincy called, and he goes, "How you feeling?" And he goes, "I've been praying to Jesus, and I know that Jaws 2 helped." And I go, "What?" And he goes, Jesus and Jaws 2 got you through this. I have no explanation what this means, but in his mind, which if you sat there and tried to think like him, you get a headache. Basically, it was Jesus and Jaws 2 that saved my life.
So, since we're talking about Jaws 2, not to get off the path, but that's a little odd and crazy. But the guy
think?
that drives the helicopter in Jaws 2,
Yeah.
right? Why the hell didn't he just jump out the other friggin' door and swim away while the shark was eating the friggin' helicopter? I mean, he could have jumped out. He's like, but no, I'm going to go down with It was stupid.
Well, you notice
Well, he was probably wearing his seatbelt.
And did you notice he had a Captain Ahab beard?
Oh, totally.
Oh, those no Abe
yeah.
Lincoln sideburns or something.
yeah.
like
So
that.
I don't know, but you know what?
Maybe it's good that he got him.
Jaws 2 saved my life. I'm gonna put that on my medical card. You know.
Jaws 2 saved your life.
According to
Chief
Quinn-
Brody came out when he lifted up the electrical line
He could
for you,
have. Maybe that's what zapped my heart
and he
back
started
together.
hitting it with the paddle.
I have no idea, but that's what Quincy told me.
Maybe
All right.
it means that he means that you must live to get him more autographs from the cast of Jaws 2.
It's probably what it is because I did get him a
Cast of Jaws 2.
long story short, they had the cast of Jaws 2 at one of these shows Jeff and I went to in New Jersey, and Quincy is a huge Jaws 2 fan, and I got him one of the goons from Jaws 2, and he absolutely went berserk. He was like he won the lottery, and I don't know if that's stuck in his brain somewhere, but obviously Jesus and Jaws 2 saved my life.
Okay, since we're on the Jaws subject, okay?
Jaws 2.
Jaws 1, 2, 3, or 4. Which shark
Technically, there was no 4 in the
Jaws
fourth
the
one.
Revenge,
The
I'm sorry.
Revenge.
of the 4 movies?
Yes.
Which shark would have scared you the most?
And honestly,
Honestly.
okay. The second one because he was burnt.
Oh yeah, I would have just said that and everything. He was he's like not only is he a shark, but he's a deformedly burnt shark.
He's like Anakin Shock.
Shark from the dark side.
Yeah, there you go.
Shark from the dark.
There you go.
I don't know. For me, it's going to sound crazy because you don't see much of the shark. But the one in Jaws 3, because it was supposed to be technically the biggest one of them all.
Well, there was 2 of them in Jaws 3, remember?
Well, no, I'm talking the mother.
We talk about the damn shark's mother. Talking about the damn shark's mother.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
mean the inflatable one that floated towards the glass very slowly and broke?
Yes.
That
Oh,
was-
that was terrible looking.
Jaws
That was horrible,
3D.
Okay, I actually saw that on opening day in 1983
With your 3D glasses.
with my 3D glasses, and the best part about that movie was I discovered Leah Thompson. She was in 3D in that movie.
That's right, she
and
was.
My 12-year-old hormones kicked in, and I'm like, that is perfection.
You didn't go home and...
Oh, I probably right there in the popcorn.
Okay.
I probably
And
don't,
she was dipping in the pool in her undies, wasn't
she
she?
was in a bikini
She's in a
Oh,
bikini
yeah.
in the movie.
in 3D. Unbelievable. But Jaws 3, I could actually watch Jaws 4 more than I could watch Jaws 3.
Yeah, Jaws 3 was terrible.
Even though Jaws 4 was awful.
With Dennis Quaid.
I hate Dennis Quaid. I can't.
Jaws 4 was terrible, though.
Oh, it was the shit.
It was the shits. I mean, one is the best movie of them all. 2...
That's the shark that gets me the most because he attacked that girl at night in the beginning, and it just.
Yeah.
I've swam in the ocean.
And
at
I'm
night,
sorry,
and,
but you just did
I'll
not
never do
want to
that
look
again.
at Lorraine Gary. I mean, you're like, okay, you got the woman from the original. You got Chief Brody's wife. Now put her away.
Do you know why Lorraine Gary was in Jaws 4?
Money?
Wasn't she banging the producer or something?
No, her
That's always a
husband. Her
good
husband owned Universal Pictures,
I didn't know that.
so that was the reason why. They
Oh,
were-
wasn't that also the reason why they named the character in Back to the Future Lorraine?
You're right. Jeff, you're a Wikipedia
Look
of
at this.
movie knowledge.
This is
For those of you who don't know out there,
Movie trivia.
Leah Thompson, who was in Jaws 3, it all ties in. Her original character's name was Mary in Back to the Future, and to appease the Universal Studios for something that they needed to appease the Universal people, well, you know what? We're going to name the character Lorraine after your wife, which was actually the chick from Jaws.
Right.
So that's how the character became Lorraine, when originally in the script, I think it was Mary Ellen or something. That's how she became Lorraine, because they wanted to appease the producers of Universal Studios to get them off their back for something. And they said, you know what? We're going to name our female lead after your wife. Whoa, who am I to say no to that? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's how it works.
Unbelievable. So we're going to wrap up this episode here of the After Hours of TC Restani, the podcast. Any parting thoughts until our next episode? I'm going to start with you, Cousin Leo.
Well, to quote the great Apollo Creed, too bad we gotta get old, Stallion. There you go. That's all I got.
Okay.
That'll do, pig.
That's fine. All right, moving on to you there, Sir Vincent Capelli.
Actually, I just want to give a shout out. Okay, I just want to give a quick shout out.
Go ahead.
I want to give a shout out to my girls at the FC Padova team. I was the proud coach of a U14 team for indoor soccer. These tournaments, named the team Paddles Posse. Won a championship, went to the finals in another one. Girls played amazing. They played their hearts out. So I want to give them, and you'd be surprised, me of all people. Being a coach.
So they kick good balls.
Huh?
They kick good balls.
Oh, I wouldn't want to get kicked in the balls by these girls.
Well,
and it just so happens my daughter's on the team. So,
Oh, okay. Oh, so it was
but
an
giving them a shout out.
it was an inside job.
Yeah, it's an inside job. That's it.
Jeffrey.
Oh, sure. Well, I guess I can give a shout out to my nieces, who are both very talented. But my goddaughter, Maeve, who's 12 now, she just actually won an award for Best Irish Step Dancing in the Boston area. So she's doing really good, and I'm really proud of you.
Top of the
proud
morning.
of you, yeah.
Top of the morning to you.
But other than that, I'm like it's a brand new year. I can't wait to get back out there and have some more fun, meet some more celebrities, and get some more stories, and get back to you.
Unbelievable.
TC, there's a person here who just has a little message for you.
Everybody else seemed to just
Hold
wander
on.
in.
I have to put her on the microphone. All right,
Okay.
so I want you to tell TC who the best princess is.
Elsa.
Okay. She's been fighting with me over this since we had this argument. Okay. My little one is still upset with you because you said Princess Leia was better than Princess Elsa.
She is. Even though she's dead, she still is.
So you guys are going to have to hash this one out.
All right,
after.
when I'm 100% better, we're going to have a debate, a real debate. We had to practice one before.
Okay.
We're going to go down a top 10 list of why I think Princess Leia is better than your Princess Elsa.
What do you have to say about that? What do you want to tell him?
Fine? Okay, fine.
Okay, you're on.
So I'm going to debate a 6-year-old on who is better, Princess Leia, Organa, Skywalker Solo.
I think She-Ra, Princess of Power, will beat the hell out of the both of them. What do you think of that?
Well, I don't know.
Wow.
Well, that'll be a
Busted
different...
out the He-Man on it.
Princess Vespa.
Please.
Maybe, hey, our next topic we should have, that should be our topic.
Favorite princesses?
The princesses. We could talk about the princesses and see why one may be better than the other.
So I want to give a
certainly
shout out to
will.
all my surgical team out there, the best that money can buy, well, the best that insurance's money can buy. And they sewed me up nice, and we'll see how long the plumbing lasts. So This is After Hours, and just like the opening of my chest,
Oh, we
We never
We never
close.
close.